Ooh.
All right, and welcome back, Kings fans, to part 2 of the Hockey Royalty Podcast. We're going to bring our guest in just a second, but before we do, we just want to let everybody know that we lost Russ. He apparently has some analytics stuff that he has to get to. I don't know.
He's still with us on this planet, mind you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
you when you're the king of analytics, you can just take off like that, I guess. So, we'll make sure we dock his pay from 0 to 0. So. But anyways, replacing him is the hottest author in the world of hockey right now. He is the author of All the Right Words, My Journey as a Sports Writer Who Stutters. There it is. It's Mr. Ryan Cowley. What's going on, Ryan?
Oh my, geez.
No worries, man. All good.
I'm lost for words. No. Thanks for having me on, guys. I'm doing well, and I'm very excited to be here.
All
Absolutely.
right. Well,
happy to have you.
Yeah,
thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And next, I'm going to bring our guest in. He is the guy who greets us every Kings game. He's there at the beginning. He's there between periods. He's there at the end. Extremely intelligent and insightful. He works for Bally Sports West, of course. He is the one and the only Mr. Patrick O'Neill. What's going on, Patrick?
What's up, Scott? Ryan?
How are you?
It's great to be here. I don't have any Kings anything in the background. Hang on.
Oh man, here we go.
The first time ever our guest has left to
There we go.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice. There you go.
Just something in the background. Is it in the shot? All right.
Yeah,
it
good.
is. Yeah. You don't have to worry about that.
What's happening? What do you guys? What's good?
Well, we can tell you're a pro because you said, "Is it in the shot?" That just puts it off right there,
Yep. Most important. Make sure it's all framed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
A little shiny. This is like there's no makeup work in here. This is just
Oh yeah.
one of those days. I was with my daughter all day, and I live on the west side of LA, and she lives up with her mom up in Hollywood. But she had 2 appointments. She had physical therapy. She had an acupuncturist, which was very expensive, mind you.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You sure that better work?" And then back up there, and then back here, and I made it just a little bit late, but pumped to talk to you guys.
That's all right.
It's all cool, man. It's all cool. So listen, before we get going into our Kings talk, if you would, tell us a little bit about how you got into the business.
Geez, it's like there's a real long story, so I always tend to get into that, but I don't want to terribly, take up too much time. But I started out as an actor. I come from a family of actors, and I thought that was the route to go. And bounced out of college at Laverne after 2 years, and started auditioning and trying to get jobs at 20 years old, and didn't do very well. Moved to New York, a lot of bartending, and came back to LA and tried again with the acting, and but kind of always wanted to get into sports somehow. And I thought maybe if I hit it as an actor, maybe I can get into sportscasting in some sort of strange sort of way. But I got lucky. My aunt's husband, my uncle-in-law at the time, they've since divorced, but he knew somebody at Fox Sports named Bill Brown, and he knew a guy that knew Bill Brown, who got me a meeting, and I was going to get into production work. I thought, at this point I was 32-ish, I think, and I thought I could maybe get a job as a PA and work my way up into directing or producing live sports. And he knew that I was acting, and he asked me if I wanted to try sportscasting. I was like, wow, yes, I do. Got an audition that one guy saw, a guy named George Greenberg, saw that tape, and for whatever reason, he really, really liked me and wanted to give me a chance. I got 2 other auditions that I didn't get, but he told me about Fox Sports Radio that was just launching, and so I got an audition for an update anchor in September of 2000, and I got that job. Like, I remember where I was when I got the call from Tom Lee, who was the PD at Fox Sports Radio, and he said, "We want to hire you, but we only have 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. Monday to Friday available for $30 an hour. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I want it." So started overnight radio doing updates, 3 times an hour, just kind of cutting my teeth in the business, and ended up staying there for about 20 months. Just really learning how to broadcast, on radio, and then got another chance on TV, in 02, like April of 02, I think, and landed a TV update kind of job at Fox Sports Net National, and let the overnight radio go, and then just kind of focused on TV. And then at the end of 04, I went to Fox Sports West. There was an opening, and there was a lockout, NHL lockout that year, but I knew the Kings, and I asked when it comes back, can I be the host of your Kings, broadcast? Because they didn't have a guy, because Billy Mack was doing Ducks, I think, at that time, and Dan Earl was doing Kings, and he left. So as soon as hockey came back after that lockout, I was in the host chair and have not relinquished it.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, because there's got to be a lot of similarities, really, between acting and being in front of the camera to do the broadcasting, right? I mean, I would think.
Well, I get to act like a sportscaster. If
That's a very good answer.
Well,
but yeah, I think I wasn't that successful as an actor getting hired, but I mean, I worked at it, at the craft, trying to, study and take classes and do scenes and all that stuff. And so, yeah, I think it helps, like, your voice, and combine that with my love and passion of sports. It just hit. But then I had to really figure out how to be a broadcaster. I mean, I did, I studied journalism in college, and I studied, I was on the radio in high school and college. So I was kind of going in that direction, as it was. But I kind of just thought that acting was the way to go because the family thing, but it all worked out. Right?
So how did you kind of get the opportunity to do both the Kings and the Angels?
Well, when I started at the end of 04, really 05, Fox Sports West was, had the Dodgers, had the Lakers, had the Clippers, had the Kings, had the Ducks, had, Pac-10 sports. And so they had a Southern California sports report. And when I jumped in there, I was the Kings guy, but then I just worked my way into being the Lakers sideline reporter for home games. Baseball season, I pushed my way in to be the host and the sideline reporter for Dodgers. And then when the Dodgers left to their own network, I jumped over to Angels in 14. That was a little bit of a late start because the Kings went on a long run and won the cup. So I jumped in end of June right away, and they have pregame, postgame shows. So basically just been doing all sports, blessed to be able to just do kind of an array of, and whatever they asked me to do, I wanted to be the guy that could, say no problem. You kind of learn early in this business, right? You don't say no to any job. You just do it, and you just, you grind and you do it. And then, right now, real fortunate, just did 4 play-by-play games for the Angels. Nice. Which was like the, highlight of my broadcasting career by far. I mean, I've done some like cool, intense, like live national TV, high stress moments. Like I was the update anchor for Fox NFL Sunday for like an entire season. And my heart was just pounding because they're like, let's go to that for an update. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, sure.
So, but there's no rush like live, live baseball, right there. I'm calling the game with Mark Gubaza. I'm like, this is insane. I called an Otani home run. I called an Otani win. I called it a game. I was just absolutely blown away by the experience. And I got 4 more games the rest of the season. And this month I've just been, you work really hard. Like that's one thing I know about these play-by-play guys and gals. You just work so incredibly hard. It's probably why I don't know if I want to do it. But so that's what this month's all been about for me, is just cramming as much baseball knowledge and play-by-play knowledge, and watching games, and being ready for this Saturday and Sunday, the 11th and 12th. I'm in the booth for road games and picked up 2 extra ones. I'm just fired up, man. I'm so fired, excited.
That is so cool.
So
now, remind me, was that your first time doing play-by-play?
Yeah, first time.
Oh,
okay.
I
did college basketball 3 games like 10 years ago. Big West basketball. I couldn't even tell you the games I did. I know I did 1 championship game, Big West for women, and 2 men's games. I'll take a stab.
Yeah.
Fulton and Irvine. I don't know. I can't remember, but that was a long time ago. So yeah. So the opportunity opened up for just a whole myriad of reasons, and that just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen when they ask you to, hey, you want to try to give it a try. It's like, holy smokes, yes, I do. And then you're alone with your thoughts and you're terrified. You know what I mean? But
right.
I just had to approach it with confidence, and it went okay.
When we were talking with Jim Fox a couple weeks ago, he said like in his first 3 years with Bob Miller, he couldn't even tell you the score at any point in the game. He was just so focused on getting the call right, and just being accurate. And they're a good supporting partner for Bob. Right. Is that, I don't know, did that kind of happen with you at all in the play-by-play?
Yeah. Brian, for sure. I wanted to make sure I did a good job for our team in the truck, those guys and gals in there that were like, wait, who's calling the game? And I wanted to do it also for myself, like I wanted to clean, broadcasts, there's so many people that work so hard, right? Behind the scenes, there's so much that goes into it. They're there really early and I just didn't want to let them down, and I didn't want to let Mark down, my partner. And so definitely put a lot of pressure on myself, but I had like 3 weeks notice, and I had the Rangers for 4. So, I studied on the Rangers and I know the Angels very well, but I wanted to dig deeper on them. And I called a bunch of different play-by-play announcers around baseball. Like I spoke with Don Orsillo on the phone.
The Padres. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. Amazing. And he gave me 15 minutes on the phone. Kenny Allen gave me 30 minutes on the phone. Matty V spoke to me in person. Matt Vasgersian. Steve Lyons, who I used to work with. So I got the vibe of the play-by-play guys and the vibe of the analyst guys on TV. And everyone basically says like, be yourself and less is more. And they can see it. So, but never having done it, it's like, how do you compute all that?
Right.
And then execute it. Just
right.
Winging it, but I felt like I got the hang of the pace and the spacing and when to talk, when to not. But, I got to get reps. I got so long to go on that,
Yeah.
I'm happy to get another chance. And at the end of the day, everything I've done, I can always say, sit on the rocking chair, and at one point in my life, I called Major League Baseball.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Great. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
One of your broadcast partners for Valley Sports West, Jarrett Stoll. What's that like working with him?
Stoll is so cool. At first maybe I was like a little starstruck, intimidated, because he's, not only is he, was a great champion, but Stoley's kind of like that epitome of cool, right? He's just he's the guy that walks into the room, everybody turns, and you're like, what? I'm here. You get to know him, and we would do these shows in San Diego for whatever reason. They had a studio there. They wanted us to do some hosting pre and post there. So we would drive, we'd commute together, and he's just super chill. He's just so real, so easy to talk to. And when it comes to the broadcasting part, like he wants to really, do a good job. I mean, he wants to be prepared. He wants, he's doing all the work with whatever the topic is. He's digging in there, and he's on the ice with these guys.
Yeah, sure.
He might have to balance what he can say because he works in player development, but I feel he's really good, really honest, and he knows. So we got a guy on the air with us that not only is was a great player, champion, and he knows it. He knows the team inside and out. So it's really good asset.
Absolutely. You're right. He is so cool. I mean, he kind of reminds me of the modern day Ron Duguay. Remember him?
Yeah.
And he's just so cool like that.
I played golf with Ron Duguay. My sister was married to John McEnroe, who was friends with Ron Duguay. He's 87.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're playing golf in San Diego, but Mac has sideline tickets for Game 2 Lakers Celtics of the NBA Finals.
Whoa.
86 or 87. It's right. It might have been 87. But Ron, I knew was with the Kings, and we were on the golf course, and I'm like panicking. It's like really cool to be playing golf with Duguay. But I'm like, sideline seats at the Lakers Celtics. We missed the entire first quarter, but the Lakers were on the cover of Sports Illustrated, with like Scott dunking, throwing it down. You open it up. I was in college. My buddy's like, dude, you're in Sports Illustrated. And there's a picture of me, and John is blocked by somebody, but you see me Thursday looking up as Scott's like throwing down. over McHale or Bird, and I was like, that was like one of the highlights of my life.
Oh, that is awesome.
That's my Ron Duguay story.
Nice.
And
So
now you're the king of cool. I mean, you were in Sports Illustrated, right?
Yeah, man, that was awesome. I wish I could. It's somewhere either there or there. I won't waste your time. I'd put it right up to the screen.
Yeah.
Proud moment.
So I guess transitioning to some King stuff now, I'm going to give you kind of a fun scenario. Who makes more appearances on a Kings broadcast this year? Alex Turcotte or Rally Howie?
Huh. That's a good
For those of you that don't know, that's Jarrett Stoll's dog.
Yeah, I would probably say Turcotte, because we're not broadcasting from home, I don't think, anymore. So those situations happened when Stoley was at home, and
Yeah.
we were, during COVID or whatever, we would do pre-post from home, which sucked really. But I was like, bring him in there, get Howie in the shot. So I would take a stab and say we'd get Turcotte. Maybe Turcotte's not, doesn't. What is it now? It's still like 10, 11 games now, full season before the entry-level contract kicks in.
Yeah.
Or 9, I don't know. But
I think they play 9. Yeah.
Yeah, 9. I think I think we'll see him, but for whatever reason, it's taken Alex maybe a little bit longer than maybe we would expect for a 5th overall pick. But from what I've heard from some of the training staff, they just the guy grinds, man. He works. They love his attitude and his approach. So maybe another year seasoning, pro hockey with Ontario, and maybe a late bloomer, and maybe help down the road.
Yeah.
Then maybe for some of the listeners that haven't listened to, I guess, is the segment on the Valley Sports West when you and Jarrett were kind of talking at development camp. Just want to get your thoughts on, the newcomers, Philip Deneau, Alex Edler, and obviously Victor Arvidsson.
Well, I guess for Deneau, I mean, you got that, that 2C, right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously getting that type of player right down the middle to take some of the minutes off Kopitar, right? He's on face-offs, penalty kill. I'm curious to see, because I guess, with Montreal, Philip didn't get that opportunity to maybe showcase what he can do offensively.
Mm-hmm.
I keep wanting to see when are the Kings going to score a little bit more, but definitely excited for him. For that type of player to join the team, because that's a really good hockey player. And so excited about that. Now Arvidsson, I know, has scored 30 goals in the league, but it's been a bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he hasn't really been filling it up of late with Nashville. So what are we going to get? I hope we get the guy that could score, 25 to 35 or 20, get over that 20 mark. And, and who is he going to play with Kopitar? I don't know what's the situation there. And I think Alex Edler was a good get. You got that, that left shot D. Maybe he's that solid guy that's going to be with Doughty, maybe. And if it's Mikey Anderson, that's great too. But he can eat up those minutes, right? He can eat up 20, 25 minutes a game easy.
Yeah.
And he's just such a solid veteran. So I know he's still got gas in the tank, because I think he's closing in on 1,000 games. He might be early 900s, or, I don't know if he could get it this year, but I would imagine for a D-man, that's something you want to get to, is 1,000. So I bet
absolutely
he wants to play hard. And so I like that. I think the Kings will be good defensively. I'm just curious about, power play and offensively, 5-on-5 production, and, goaltending. So I still think that's that big question mark. Is it Peterson? Is it Quick? Is it Stoll?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Quick going to, be the number one, because, he's got something to prove. So, but certainly excited, right? Pumped to get the season, underway. And
Sure.
It was awful last year. I mean, without fans, and then they finally came back, and then their fans are there, but there's a couple of hundred, and they're piping in the sounds. And
yeah.
And then the first half of the year, we're wearing masks on TV and talking through it, and can't even breathe. And I just want it all to be over with.
I know.
Yeah.
End it.
I'm in Illinois, and they just brought back the mask mandate. So I'm so tired of it.
Mask mandate just in general, where you go around town, that sort of thing, or
entering public facilities, grocery stores, and
whatnot. No, I mean I get that. I mean, I know. Who knows? We're not going to get into all that, but
no, definitely not.
It's definitely tiring, but to me, that's I'd rather. I'm just talking about in terms of sports, like. If they're going to make a rule where, you have to be vaccinated or you need to prove that you're negative, however, and that allows you to get into the building and it keeps everybody safe, like I'm cool with that, as long as I don't have to wear a mask, and then eventually maybe this all goes away. But we need fans. We need fans in the stands. Players need them. We need them. We need them for the broadcast. And we just got to, and we're seeing it. It's happening. But just hope we don't get any setbacks.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
And I guess,
but you know what?
Sorry, go ahead, Scott. No, I've been hogging the conversation. Go ahead.
I wanted to.
You got this. What do you got there, bud? I see the Dewey, and there's like
that's on the right is actually that jersey was signed by the entire 2016 team.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
A friend of mine got it for me. Yeah, and then the gloves are actually signed by Dewey as well. I won those in a contest.
Oh, nice.
So.
Is he not the greatest?
Yeah. Oh my God!
Is he out of your favorite King?
Oh my God!
He's for sure.
So awesome.
Yeah.
I could listen to him for days just because it's hilarious.
If
there's ever a guy that should have his own reality show, it's him.
But just absolutely. You're in there and you're trying to get like sound, right? You're getting interviews, and you're like, you don't always go to Drew, but he's there. Nobody's talking to him. It's like, let's go to Drew. Let's get sound, because the guy's going to be honest with you,
Right.
Yeah.
When he got suspended and we were playing Vegas, and he missed that game. I remember that was just such a
the playoffs. Yeah,
that series, man. Kings could have won that series. It was so tight. Every game, one goal, and double overtimes. That was brutal. Now, got to get back. Got to get back to postseason. Enough.
Agreed.
Enough.
Yeah, absolutely. But I kind of wanted to just touch on this season just a little bit as far as the prospects that are coming up. We talked about Turcotte. Is there any other ones? I mean, I know, we've kind of, talked about Byfield constantly, and we're hoping that we see him right from the get-go. I mean, at least myself personally. But is there anybody else besides him that you think could crack the opening night lineup?
You said besides Byfield?
Yeah. I mean, that's like I said, we've debated this like every time. I mean, that's kind of, and I honestly, I hope to see him opening night. I think it would be fantastic.
Yeah. I would be surprised if Byfield wasn't. I mean, I think you got to look at the guys that got run towards the end of the season in Kupari and Kaliev.
Yeah,
right.
That's where I'm leaning. I don't know what you guys think, but I know they got rookie camp like that's going. There's like 36 guys in camp, and I got a text from some of the trainers, and it's going, and they're flying, and it's going great, and everybody's on the ice, and there's great energy. But I would have to say Kaliev and Rasmus, and then I'm trying to think defensively. I kind of feel like we might be pretty strong. Not that many spots, like when you think about it.
Yeah, sure.
In camp, but that's what's great about having Ontario so close, and the way Rob and Luke and the way they're running the team. Those players will let you know. That's one thing Blakey always says is they will let you know. When they're
absolutely. And I mean, I think like for me personally, I hope it's Kaliev. I really do. I mean, I know that there's some people that say that he's got a knock against him defensively, but he did get better defensively as the season wore on down in Ontario last year. And we've said this before. I don't personally think that one more season in the AHL is going to really make that much of a difference for him on the defensive side of the puck. And frankly, when you got a kid that can shoot like that, that's what he is. He's a shooter, right? I mean, you're not going to turn him into an Artemi Panarin or a Mark Stone being a playmaker or a defensive player. But get the kid a chance to maybe be on Kopi's wing or to be on Deneau's wing or whoever. I mean, that's just you got to see what he's got.
Totally, but it does come down to that D-zone responsibility in the full 200-foot ice.
Sure.
And even though the Kings had that great identity, right, where it was all deep, right, and they just completely crushed you. The forecheck and everything was teams just couldn't handle it, right, the way they rolled those lines. I don't think that identity is leaving the organization anytime soon. I know they want to get offense, but if you go out there and you're not responsible on your own end, I don't necessarily see it working out. But that's why those guys in player development like Stoley are out there every day working with those guys to turn them into guys that are better on the half wall, better.
Absolutely.
But the game's so fast, right? And it's a tough game.
Sure. Oh, absolutely.
It really is.
No doubt about it.
Patrick, we only got a couple more minutes left with you. I just wanted to actually switch to some Angels questions for you, kind of in your wheelhouse, what you're doing right now. obvious question. What has been your impression of Shohei Otani this year? He's fully healthy. He's pitching. Is he your AL MVP?
Yeah, he's going to win the AL MVP without a doubt. I mean, that's a lock. There's no question. He's 9-1 on the mound.
Yeah.
He leads the team in innings and strikeouts. Opponent batting average is under 200. He's got 2 outs and they're hitting like under 100. I mean, he is, especially with runners in scoring position.
Right.
He just finds a way to lock it down, and he's a mystery because. We go to the yard and you see guys that are working out and running. A lot of pitchers run. He doesn't. We never see him do that. When is this guy doing any running? Like, how is he able to,
Maybe he's playing hockey.
Pitch 7
Yeah.
innings. He played 117 pitches, 7 innings, and it was in the lineup the next day and hit his 43rd home run. Like, where's the legs come from? Offensively in the second half, he's not doing as well as he did in the first half. Is he fatigued? It would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of swing and misses, even in the zone. He strikes out, like 30% of the time, and he may set a team record in strikeouts before the season's over. But it's incredible. It really has been. It has been a thrill to watch him. He's getting pitches to hit, but if you had Trout and you had Rendon and you had those guys, I think his numbers might be better, and the team might not be in the playoffs because pitching is always an issue. Without pitching, I don't think you're going to win. But they battle. Joe Madden's fun. I mean, that's one thing I like about that team is Joe Madden keeps it loose, and he keeps the guys figuring out a way to just show up and try to compete.
Yep, I'm a Cubs fan, so I know all about his zoo animal trip and all that's the stuff he does to keep the guys loose. But the Angels were an interesting organization at the draft. I think they took 21 pitchers with all their selections.
Yeah.
Do you think this is the off season that they finally go and get a couple of big names? I think I saw they were linked to Scherzer.
Yeah. I heard that, but you got to if Dodgers don't sign him, I'd be surprised, right? Because they always find a way to, at all costs, sign the guy that they. How did they get Scherzer and Turner? I have no idea. They somehow pulled that off, but that would be awesome. They need 2 starters for sure. They're getting, a look. Otani's can really pitch, and they're getting a look at some guys, down the stretch here. But I think you got to go out and get 2 starters. You got to, re-sign Raisel Iglesias. He's got 30 saves, so he's one of the best closers in the American League. And then you got to fill some holes. You need a shortstop. They got Jose Iglesias. They just released.
Yeah.
And they might need another backup catcher. I think Kurt Suzuki might, retire. Who knows? So they got definitely some work to do in the offseason, and see if you can get Trout, Rendon, Otani in the lineup all together at the same time. What's up with
absolutely.
Come on, Ryan.
What, me?
Yeah, what do you got for me?
All right. Okay. Oh dear. You caught me on the spot.
You can go anywhere. You can go any direction.
Yeah.
I thought
Talk about the Red Sox.
yeah. Yes, Patrick, I'm a Red Sox fan. No, and Joe Madden frustrated me when he was Tampa Bay's manager. So yeah.
Humboldt State.
Yeah.
You just scripted it for me. You scripted it for me. Where do I see myself in 10 years?
Yeah.
I'm going to be 54 next week.
Oh, come on. That's not
really.
True.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe that.
Would be, I'll tell you,
Wow.
Maybe just relaxing.
Yeah, right.
That's part of the podcast experience.
Man, that's awesome.
Just somewhere, with my wife, my beautiful wife, Summer, and enjoying life, man. I can't, what would be like a dream would be like, let's say this works out with the Angels and I'm somehow still being able to like let's say they want me to somehow, and I'm like, wow, but I don't expect another 10 years of being able to do that. So probably retired.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 years from now, probably retired.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll have you call him the play-by-play for the World Series. How's that?
Yes.
I don't want that pressure, man. I want nice, local, low key. I've been trying to fly under the radar, and now suddenly I'm like doing play-by-play. I'm like, man, my plan backfired.
I know you ended up on Hockey Royalty Podcast, and what's next?
Yeah.
There's nothing left.
And after the podcast down.
It's great to catch up with you guys, and kind of just talking about the Kings gets me excited and ready for the season, and
Absolutely.
I'm pumped, man. I really am.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah,
I don't think McClellan's had a real good shake yet.
No.
A chance to full training camp.
Right.
I mean, it has been so brutal, the last time for everyone, obviously. For COVID. And I just think this will be hopefully a good chance to really see what he's able to do. Right.
Mm-hmm.
If all goes well, and we get fans in there, and we start to, maybe get out to a good start.
Yeah, and you're so right about that. And this is the first time the Kings really went and made a free agent splash.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's been coached too. If you think about it.
Yeah. What do you guys think of our first round pick, man? Defenseman Clark.
Oh, man.
Oh, Brent Clark.
If he plays as fast as he talks,
It reminds me of Dewey a little bit.
Yeah.
I know. It's like his little brother.
That's exactly what I was thinking for some heard him. Yeah.
Yeah, he is great. I mean, just from the energy and his passion and how he's able to talk about his game and the confidence he has, that's great. Now with Mikey, with Mikey Anderson, and Bjorn Foote, we got young D, and with a solid veteran and Doughty and and Walks and Roy. I mean, I really like what we got on the back end. Really,
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
absolutely.
We got to get some more offense from these guys, though.
I agree.
Last year we had hard to get any goals.
I think Doughty was the only one with any power play goals. He had 6.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I think hopefully Cal Clegg will kind of step up his offensive game this year, and that's kind of his calling card. So I guess we'll find out, because I don't think there's much other choice now. He's not going to clear waivers, so.
Right. Yeah. Right. Maybe he's in the mix, 7D, but it's
sure.
With if everyone stays healthy, you got Edler and Doughty and Bjorn Foote and Anderson and Walker and Roy. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't see those guys stay healthy and are playing well. They're going to be in the lineup.
Yep, for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Love Matt Roy.
Musical hockey chairs.
Yeah, for sure. Well, cool guys. What else?
Yes, absolutely. We really appreciate you coming on. I mean, this is fantastic. You took the time out to talk to us.
Oh, no problem.
And we realize you don't have many off days now with all the work you've been doing with the Angels.
I'm not complaining at all. I just know that I have Angels tomorrow, and then Saturday and Sunday I'm back in the booth. I'm like, oh man, it's coming quick, and it'll be road games, so I'll be calling those games off the monitor only. We're not trying.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, I'm sorry, Patrick. Right before I leave, I do have one question. Shameless plug, but do you have an Amazon account? You were able to buy my book.
Okay.
Yes, there we go.
Everybody,
no obligation.
Hey Patrick, if it's any consolation, the book is it's got some good humor in it from Ryan's perspective. I've had a few laugh out loud moments.
All right, I'll get it. You got it. My pleasure.
All right.
Ryan,
excellent.
Thank you.
Ryan, nice to talk to you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, buddy.
You got
Take care. And good luck the rest of the season. We'll see you in about a month.
All right.
All right. See ya.
See you guys.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Too.
All right. That was Patrick O'Neill from Valley Sports West. That is so cool right there. So cool.
That was great.
And I'll tell you, I'm envious. That looks like a pretty good glass of wine he's been drinking. I wish I had thought of that before we came on.
Yeah. Me too.